You know, in the world of technology, sometimes the biggest, most complicated problems start with the tiniest little clues. Today, we're going to dive into one of those. It's an issue that seems so simple on the surface, but when you pull back the curtain, it reveals something much, much deeper about the health of an entire system. We're going to find out why a login problem is never just a login problem.
It almost always starts with these three little words: I cannot log in. It might show up in a support ticket, or maybe it's a frantic phone call. It sounds so straightforward, right? Like a single broken lock that just needs a new key.
But what if it's not a broken lock at all? What if it's actually the first thread you pull that unravels a much larger mystery? That's what we're going to explore today. We'll see how seasoned pros treat this simple message not as a problem to be fixed, but as the exciting start of a real investigation.
To solve this mystery, the first thing we have to understand is that a login isn't just one single event. It's not like flicking a light switch. It's really a complex, beautifully choreographed dance happening behind the scenes, and if even one dancer stumbles, well, the whole performance can grind to a halt. This is kind of the secret life of a login, the journey that happens every single time you hit that enter key. First, your credentials get sent off for validation. Once the system knows who you are, it applies a bunch of rules, or policies. Then it loads up your personal digital workspace, your profile. And only after all of that is done is your session finally ready. You can see it's a chain of events, and we all know a chain is only as strong as its weakest link.
And this, right here, is the core idea. A slow or failed login isn't the disease itself, it's a symptom. It's your system trying to tell you that somewhere deep inside that intricate chain, something is struggling, and our job as tech detectives is to follow that signal all the way back to the source.
All right, every good investigation starts with the most likely suspects. When it comes to a login problem, our first stop is always to check out two really fundamental pieces: the service that confirms you are who you say you are, and the digital highways that all your information has to travel on.
So, let's meet suspect number one. The authentication service. You can think of this as the main gatekeeper to your digital world. Its entire job is to look at your password and say, yep, you're on the list, come on in. But here's the thing, this gatekeeper needs a lot of help to do its job right.
And when that gatekeeper is having a bad day, it leaves behind some very specific clues. Are you being asked for your password again and again? Is the system just thinking forever before it finally times out? These aren't just little annoyances. They're like fingerprints at a crime scene, pointing directly at a problem with authentication itself, or maybe something even deeper.
Now, if our gatekeeper checks out, we turn our attention to our second prime suspect, the network. The network is basically the system of roads that every single piece of data travels on. And if those roads are full of potholes or stuck in a massive traffic jam, the journey is going to be slow and painful, no matter how fast the gatekeeper is.
The clues a struggling network leaves behind are things like high latency, that's kind of like hitting a red light at every single intersection, or packet loss, which is where bits of your information just get lost on the way. A congested network, just like a highway at rush hour, can make a perfectly healthy system feel completely broken to the user who's just trying to log in.
Okay, so we've checked our main suspects, but the trail hasn't gone cold. Now our investigation has to go deeper, into the hidden layers of the system, the parts that manage your personal settings and the rules that control everything. And trust me, this is where you often find the most surprising culprits.
Let's bring in suspect number 3, the user profile. The best way to think about a profile is to imagine it's your digital luggage. It's got all your stuff in it, your desktop wallpaper, your bookmarks, your settings, everything that makes your computer feel like your computer. And every single time you log in, the system has to go and fetch all that luggage for you.
So, what happens if that luggage is just incredibly heavy, packed with gigantic files? Well, the login is going to take a lot longer. And what if the luggage is broken or corrupted? The system might not even be able to open it. So many times, a slow login can be traced right back to the system just struggling to load a huge or damaged user profile.
Our final suspect is one of the most powerful, yet most invisible forces in the whole system, the policies. These are basically the rule book. Before you can get to work, the system has to read this entire rule book that says what you can and can't do, which printers you can use, which network drives you can see, all the security settings. It's a lot.
And the thicker that rulebook is, the longer it takes the system to read it. Dozens of map drives, complicated security scripts, layers of application rules. Every single one of those adds precious seconds to the login process. Sometimes the login isn't really failing at all. It's just incredibly busy following a very, very long list of instructions.
So after digging through all these layers, identity, the network, profiles, and policies, we finally arrive at our grand conclusion. And you know what? The solution to the login problem isn't a single fix. It's a fundamental shift in how we approach the problem in the first place. This is the real secret. The most experienced people in the field know that trying to fix the login is like trying to fix a citywide traffic jam by yelling at one car. It just doesn't work. Instead, they zoom out. They look at the entire system of roads. They don't treat the symptom. They investigate the layers to find the real source of the problem.
And this leads us to this really powerful way of thinking, a layer-based model. This is the Tech Detective's toolkit. You just systematically work your way through each layer: identity, network, profile, policies, and yeah, even the physical hardware itself. It turns a confusing mess into a clear, structured investigation.
And really, it all boils down to this mindset shift. We stop asking the simple, reactive question, why did the login fail? And we start asking a much more powerful, much more insightful question, which dependency in which of these layers is causing this delay? It's a tiny change in words, but it leads to a huge change in how you solve problems.
And that's really the ultimate takeaway here. That first error message, I cannot log in, it's not a roadblock. It's not a dead end. It's actually a doorway. It's an invitation to start looking deeper and to really appreciate the incredible complexity of the systems we use every single day.
So, let's just quickly recap the big ideas. Remember that a login is a multi-step process, a whole chain of events. Each one of those steps relies on tons of hidden dependencies. And because of that, your login performance is like a vital sign for the health of your whole system. If you learn to think in layers, you can stop just patching symptoms and start solving the real root cause.
So the next time you hear those three words, I cannot log in, I really hope you don't just see a problem anymore. I hope you see a mystery, an adventure, just waiting to be solved. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.
Hi everyone. First of all, thank you for watching this video. My name is Naresh. I am the content creator behind this YouTube channel. I have created a community for Citrix learners where I will be posting a lot of details on Citrix products and how to work in Citrix environments. I'm going to mention the link in the video description, so you can click on that link and you can become part of the community. All right, see you soon. Bye-bye.